Hello.
I was just about to send invites.
So who did that one?
I think Nicole, right?
Yep.
You got it. Okay.
So I don't like doing it on my computer because it usually messes up or something goes wrong with the internet or I'm super delayed. So that's why I've been trying to get others or try to do it on my phone or something. But it's live. We are recording. I invited McKenna.
About that. If next week I can start it and I'll just do some research. I think there's a way to just record on Google Hangouts as in like just not going through YouTube at all. So I'll figure it out for next week.
I
Okay.
don't know.
So okay.
I'm just seeing if McKenna or Kiara have said anything. Kiara's, so I can add her really quick. But I added McKenna for sure. So we're just waiting on them if they're coming.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything. I can check the discussion board one last time.
Okay, that would be good.
Yeah, we established last week it'd be 12:15 and it's way past that, so.
Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, my computer's freaking out now because of internet processing too much. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, they haven't posted on the.
Nicole, do you want me to try getting it for mine? Would that make you feel better?
It's all right. Okay. I think we'll just get started. I'll see if we can get started. I'll be a little bit distracted adding Kiara onto the call. But if you two could probably get started and I just, as I work on getting Kiara on, that would be peachy.
Okay.
Do we know who is going to be the one that took care of everything today?
I can summarize what we talk about in the last few minutes if you want to be the discussion leader.
Okay.
So what do we do if people are like 15 minutes late? Because then do we have to go longer because we waited for them or do what?
I think we just go like based on how we started, right?
I think that's a pretty good rule. I think like 5 minutes grace is fine. But we're 15 minutes in and no one's here. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And they haven't emailed us anything. So
we're looking at 24 minutes. Is that what we're doing?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. With the three of us. Sounds about right.
Okay. So what did you guys think about this week's lessons?
Okay, I can go. I just didn't want to cut off Nicole if it was delayed. I really liked, it kind of blew my mind about social media because, and I posted this on the discussion board, I have kind of gotten to the point in my life where I don't really post on social media very often, maybe every few months, if that. And I was like, I don't really need social media. And I thought about deleting it and stuff. And then I listened to Elder Bednar's talk and I was like, okay, never mind. And then with the challenge to post every week, I'm like, this will be good. But I was amazed by that story of the bone marrow donors and how much social media helped them, even though it didn't end up saving them, but it gave them a chance, you know. And I was amazed by that. So,
but you know, I know, I thought about like, you know, poor them, they passed away. But then like all the people that they did find for future, you know, those who needed bone marrow donors. So I thought that was awesome. Maybe it couldn't save them, but they did help so many other people just by going through social media and doing that. So I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I was kind of in the same boat as you, Britt. I was like, I don't really like social media. I never post. It's pointless. It's useless. All I see or tend to look for in my Facebook page is who's getting married and who's having a baby. That's all I really care about. But now knowing just how powerful it can be, it definitely was like, well, it guilt tripped me a little bit, quite honestly. It was like, how am I really using my social media? Am I trying to uplift and I'm trying to help people? And even though it's not what I get out, it's what I put in, what I should put in to others. And so I also mentioned in the group discussion that I took a really big step and I posted about a blog that I started for my marriage class a couple semesters ago, and no one knew about it. My husband even, he was like, wait, you started a blog and you didn't tell me really much about it. I was like, oh yeah, about that. But he was very supportive of it, and he's like, this is great. And my mother-in-law read through a little bit too, and she said, this is a lot of good information. I was like, hey, maybe I can make a difference. So those are kind of my general thoughts with what we were.
Sorry. I use social media. Well, I have Facebook. That's the only thing that I have. And I do find myself on it, several times during the day. And most of the stuff that I post is like family related. And we have family, that doesn't live close by. And that's one of the ways we keep in touch, and they see pictures of the kids and what's going on in our lives and us and their lives. And I thought, well, I think I handle social media pretty well. I don't post anything negative, or I don't think I spend a lot of time on there. But then, like, after listening to Elder Bednar's talk, I was like, okay, yes, I'm not posting anything negative, but what am I doing to uplift someone else? I know, like, yay, my family's there and I'm posting pictures of my kids, but in reality, what am I doing to uplift, all the people who see my profile or whatever, what am I doing to spread the gospel? What am I doing to advocate? I think those are the questions that I was like, okay, like I'm doing okay, but I can do better.
I know. I realize that I'm like, I see so much like pointless stuff on Facebook that I don't know why I felt like I shouldn't contribute to it. I'm like, wait, if I'm contributing good things, isn't that better? And I went through this whole thing where I don't want to annoy people by posting too much, but I'm like, wait, I don't even post once a week. I'm like, if I see something from someone like once a week, that doesn't bother me at all. It's like when you are even every day, it's like every hour that I'm like, okay, that's a lot of posting.
Yes.
I love how they said that like the apostles all have like Instagrams and Facebooks, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. And I follow most of them. I think I have most of them on my Facebook. And I think it's awesome. Like, you can just hit share and it, you can share what they've said and stuff. I also think, like, I'm the young women's president, and I have a lot of the young women in my Facebook page. And I think, like, how can I better use my Facebook page to help them? How can I help them, in their daily struggles? I mentioned this in the discussion board. I have this one young woman that's trying to read the scriptures every day for one of her personal progress goals. And she's asked me to send her a message, every day to remind her to read the scriptures. And I've been sending like memes, and I send like quotes and these cute images. And I thought, well, if I can do it with her, with one person, I don't necessarily have to post it directly on my profile, but I can create a group of those who really want to, get a nudge for reading their scriptures every day. I think there's several ways that we can use things, and it'll be for promoting positive things. Have you guys had like a positive experience about sharing something on social media?
Really? I mean, people like it and comment sometimes, but like I've never had like this big experience. What I did have in high school was like, I felt like I should text my friend to invite him to come to a dance, like the stake dance. So I did. And he ended up coming and brought his friend, and he joined the church and everything. And at his baptism, he said, I want to thank Britt for sending that text to invite us to go to the dance. And I was all like, what? And like, not my fault, but like I kind of started it and I was like, really? I just sent like a 5-second text saying, are you going to come to the dance tonight? But which is kind of sad because that same guy's inactive now, but you know, he has a chance to come back later.
Yeah.
Something I really thought, oh, go ahead.
No, sorry. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
Something I've been thinking about this week a lot is the principle. I think there's like a quote, like bad things happen when good people say nothing or don't do anything. And sometimes I think that just staying out of things is the best way. But I think with the social media thing, I'm like, you could help so many young women by regularly posting inspirational messages because they look up to you so much. And so I'm like, oh, I need to be more active about not just not saying anything, but I need to be more like have a presence on social media so I can help other people.
I think like you mentioned, like have a presence, because sometimes, yeah, you want to stay out of it. You don't want to have arguments with anyone. You don't want to get all politically correct, and you don't want to, you know, be religious in anybody's face, but just like being proactive, you know, and showing presence, like you said, so others know what you believe in. I know, there was this one video I shared. There's this girl on my Facebook page, and I haven't seen her in years, but there is a video that I shared about a mom, and I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's a Mormon message, that she does so much and she feels like she didn't help anyone throughout her day. But in reality, you know, she did so much, and she helped so many people. And she commented like, this was amazing. This is what I needed. And to me, she's not a member. And to me, it was like, oh my gosh, go here. You can find so many more videos on this. Like it's awesome. I think sometimes the people you least think are paying attention are the ones who are really paying attention.
I think that's my kind of I don't know. I don't feel like I make a presence, so it's like, why does other people care about what I post? Sometimes, a lot of times actually, because it's usually something funny or something family related or something that is special in my life. Like recently I a while ago, not recently, but a while ago for a Halloween, I posted that we are expecting. And I thought, this is important news, so this is the only reason I'm posting. But I forget that sometimes people are also paying attention to the little things that are going on too. Because I feel like the only time I should post or need to post is there's some kind of big announcement. It's like, oh, people are getting married or people are having a baby or something. But I think that's what I really need to remember is it's the small things that makes the biggest difference sometimes, like sharing that video. I also remember one other time, I don't even know why, but I was kind of having a down day and I read a post from President Monson, and that really uplifted me and it really helped me, even though I totally didn't expect it at all. It's like, I'm getting help from social media. That's really not me, but it does help, and it's the little things that do matter. So I just have to remember that, and I think we all do. Like, I'm having Taco Bell like every hour. But yes, making a difference rather than sitting back and just making these menial, useless posts. So.
Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Nicole. So did you guys get to go to that video list of all the social media apps and stuff that they have? Some of them I had never heard of before.
I think I saw it, and yeah, there was like a lot that I didn't even recognize. Like, I think it's on like the Dragonfly page. It tells you like these different options for social media, and I was like, I haven't even heard of some of these.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to go through some of those videos, and like it was something interesting that I learned is I know about Snapchat. I don't have it. I don't use it. My daughter doesn't have a phone yet, so she doesn't have it. But what was interesting to me is a lot of these teenagers use Snapchat and they don't do it. Some use it, you know, for positive things, others don't. But what they said in that video is like some people can purchase an app separate from Snapchat that's like $1 or something like that. And then it will save all of your videos and those pictures that you thought would be deleted 24 hours later. And a lot of these teens use Snapchat because they say, oh, it'll be gone in 10 seconds or whatever. And you will never know. The person who has the Snapchat account will never know that your videos and your pictures are being downloaded. So I thought that was crazy.
So it's like, I know that you can save it when you send it, but I didn't really think, and like when people screenshot my pictures, I can see it, but there's an app that just downloads it anyway.
Yes. And you'll never know. Like someone else can buy that app and have it on their phone, and it's like $1.
Like, I'm like, my Snapchats would only ever be embarrassing. Not like that.
But there are some teens or some people in general who don't use it for very good things and who are sending like, ugly things. Yeah. And that video also talked about how it can really ruin someone's reputation and someone's day if you're not using it correctly. And you would never know that this person has that other app. So what do you guys think are some of the positive and the negative things about social media? I guess the strengths and the weaknesses.
Well, along the same lines as Snapchat, we have a family group chat on my Snapchat. You can do that. And so I'll take little videos of my son and send it to my parents and my siblings. And my husband's family doesn't really have Snapchat, but I have him on there. And so they can see videos of him regularly. And I think it makes him feel connected. Like, so we'll see like my little niece, my little nephew on one side of the family, and then my sister's expecting. And so then like we get to see like little like bump, we call them bump dates, like her belly bump and stuff. And so it keeps us really feeling connected because it's like everyday videos that you would never record anyway or otherwise. So I think that's a positive side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. You can stay connected with people all around the world. Like an example for me is, so I had the opportunity to serve a mission in Mexico, and the only way that I really kept in contact with him is through my Facebook page. So every once in a while I post something in Spanish saying, oh, I miss everyone in Oaxaca, or something I'm grateful for about what I've learned from the mission, or it's been a certain kind of anniversary. And so that's definitely been a positive for me, being able to connect with these people. And many times I have, not many, but several times old investigators who were baptized would message me and ask, how are things going? And we have a conversation. And it's a way to keep in touch. Like, are you still going to church? How are things going with your family? Is your dad baptized yet? Or some things like that. So that's definitely a positive too. Missionary related positive. But I think to a negative to that is that to social media in general, is people do forget privacy. I don't know, they just post so much that they don't really keep anything to themselves, or it's like way too much information. Like, okay, I understand, like, I don't know. Privacy definitely can be a big thing. That is like, you give so much that there's nothing really that you retain. And it could be way too much information for a lot of people. It's like, okay, that's great. I do not need to know that. Wonderful. So it's definitely just a balance between how much you give and how much you keep. And it's different for everyone. Some people are so open with all their feelings, and it just goes kind of a flood. And other people are great at reacting at that. It's like, I'm so sorry about what you're going through, or your loss, or something like that. But other people are just like, okay, way too much information. So I think that it could be a positive or a negative, because you can reach out to get help. But at the same time, it's like, is that really necessary to post?
Yeah.
So it could be definitely a downfall too.
Yeah. For me, when I had my baby, I had really bad postpartum. And so this was like really random. Like a friend of a friend posted that like her cousin had created this like group for support for people that had postpartum depression. And I didn't even join it. I would just follow it and I would just read, and it really helped me. And so it's interesting because I would never share that like on Facebook in front of everyone, but other people sharing it blessed my life. And so it's interesting. But I think you have to be careful, because I've noticed, at least for me, my friends, like, they'll take a ton of picture of their kids doing every little thing and post like 10 pictures for one event and stuff. And I think, at least for me, I'm not sure how it is for them, I start focusing too much on capturing the moment than enjoying it. And so I think that's like a thing that a lot of people like fall trapped to, is like, we were at Monkey Rock here in Rexburg area, and there's these two girls that spent an hour taking pictures of themselves amongst the waterfall, trying to get the perfect Instagram photo. And I'm like, what about enjoying the water and the sunshine and your company instead of spending an hour trying to get the photo just right, you know? And they didn't want to get wet. And I was like, you're in the middle of the water, like they're on the rocks and stuff. And so I think social media can give a lot of pressure to have a perfect life or the perfect picture. So
Yeah, I think sometimes like you see everyone else's pictures and you see their picture perfect family, and then you start thinking like, well, how come I can't even get my two kids to smile for one picture, or I can't get this kid to sit down and the other one is mad at me. I just think like if you don't use it correctly, or if you don't know how to control your thoughts, maybe, then it can cause some type of jealousy, and then wondering why you can't have things together, like the mom who posted her perfect dinner, and you're having pizza or whatever. And I think that's something we really need to be careful with also. I like what you guys mentioned about the positives. Yeah, it keeps in touch with family. That's one of the greatest things I think that has come from social media. And some of the negatives, like Nicole was saying, like everyone, posting about every minute of their day. And I've seen also like very, very ugly things, like bullying type of deal going on, and like just other things that it's like, okay, we don't have to feed into, the curiosity of others because they want to see how this child got beat up or how this had to happen. And I'm sure probably, some people don't mean it in a bad way to post about it, but there's others who do see it like, just out of curiosity and not because they really want to help out. So I think it definitely has its negatives and its positives. And we just need to watch out how we're using our social media accounts. Is there anything you guys want to add?
Yeah, because it just made me realize that sometimes on social media we become so passive. With like, there are times where we see some kind of bullying going on, or there's something that we don't agree with, and it's just like meh. We pass by, we scroll by, and don't do anything about it. So social media can definitely also make us really passive if we're not careful. Of course, you don't have to go into every conflict and with both the horns, but if there's something definitely going wrong, then do something about it. But it really is, especially for me, I'm just like la la la, like total just zone out zone, that I just become so passive with what I'm doing, and I don't really care really that much about liking or making a comment or helping someone if necessary. So I think that can be a negative too, is that we are so online and so just focused on just like staring at a screen that we don't really take the time to like become active in anything. And I think that's also part of the dragonfly effect, is actually doing something about it rather than just like becoming so passive. And as you both were speaking, I thought about Elder Bedsnard's list about 4 things on what to do about social media. And I can't remember all of them, but one of them is definitely to be genuine. Like, we are not having our perfect pictures. It reminds me of just a lot of pictures that I see on Facebook are by photographers, like professional photographers, and they're taking tons of pictures of their family, and they're always so perfect because they're photographers. And it's like, well, I do it on my phone and it's blurry and I got smears and I don't even know, I haven't put on makeup all day. And so I forget that, like, that whatever they're posting is good, and it's good looking and it's nice and it looks so perfect. So, but I have to remember that I need to be genuine, at least, even if I see all these perfect pictures of whatever. But I think that's been one really important thing for me, is to be genuine, that I can't also put, oh, my life is so perfect with my husband, or, oh, I don't even know what else is so perfect, but everything is perfect. So
yeah, I like what you said. I think one of the I kept thinking this week about, okay, how much time am I spending on social media? What is it that I do? How am I going? My kids don't have phones yet, but how am I going to teach them by example that yes, it's okay to have social media, but you have to be responsible when using it. And how well are you using it to advocate, for our beliefs and to preach the gospel? And one of the things that it reminded me was, it said those who abuse the use of social media are the problem, not the social media itself. So I think if we don't set like time limits and controls over how much we spend on our phone, on our emails, now that we have everything on our phone, it's so hard not to just use it, for different apps. And I think it just has to do a lot with control and with knowing when to put the phone down and enjoy those who are in front of you and enjoy what's going on. I think I liked that video that I think it was a Mormon message on how the girl is just like riding her bike, and taking pictures and sending stuff off. And I thought, well, yeah, if we are really in tune with the Spirit, and we are listening to the promptings of the Holy Ghost, then we can be just like her. And we can, anything that's around us can remind us of something uplifting, and just shoot a text to someone or a picture that goes along with the scripture, something like that.
Yeah, I agree.
That's awesome. Something I thought about, like, with weighing the pros and cons of social media, is I'm like, we have to recognize, though, Heavenly Father brought it about at this time for a reason. And imagine the gospel without any social media or any, like, technology. Like, that's what has helped the gospel spread so far, is the technology that we've had, And so it is like, it's like they always say, like, there's a good and bad side to everything, and Satan always tries to corrupt what Heavenly Father makes sacred or good. And so there's like two extreme opposites on social media, because something else I was thinking about is my brother-in-law has had pornography problems. I think a lot of men these days have. But he said that it's so hard for him to be on Facebook because things that he doesn't even mean to see will pop up. Or like one of his friends will post a picture in a bikini or something, And so he's like, it's hard for him, like the hard balance of trying to do good with social media, but also not to be hurt by it. So
right. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, Britt, do you want to sum up what we've talked about?
Hopefully Weston will cooperate. This is Weston, by the way. I did not introduce him last week. And Nicole, you're pregnant?
Yes, we are expecting.
That's awesome.
We are expecting our first little girl. Well, our first, who is a little girl.
Yeah.
And she's due right after finals.
Oh. Like, don't come early.
No, please no.
I had a friend in one of my classes. She was pregnant and due the week after finals, and she went into labor the week before finals.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Yeah, so, okay. So kind of what we talked about. Just a second. Sorry. He's really cranky right now. What do you want? Huh? I think he wants to say hi.
Hi.
He wants to be in his high chair, but then as soon as I put him in there, he cries. So maybe right here. Huh? Can you wait just a second more? Okay. So we kind of talked about the bone marrow transplant and how that registry that was created through social media, it didn't save the lives of the people that it was created for. But I think if I remember the number correctly, it saved 250 lives after them. And so that's a huge impact. And so I think with that, sometimes we see that we don't see our initial goal reached, but the effects of our good can reach further than we realize too, maybe. We talked about it's okay to have a presence on social media, and it's okay to post, and just to be careful of how much you post, and not to overshare, but it's also important to share. So it's like a fine line. We learned that Snapchat, there's like a app that go with Snapchat that can download all your videos and pictures without letting the other person know, which can be scary. So my parents always said, don't send it unless you want the world to see it. Or you're the world seeing it. Something that we see with social media is that nothing seems to be sacred, but also that people sometimes focus too much on getting the perfect photo or having their life perfect, which I've seen these hilarious photos where it's like the perfect dinner, but then they extend the frame and the whole house is a mess and everything's crazy, but they took the perfect picture of their food, you know? So, but also a great aspect of social media is that it helps people who are alone to reach out and find people similar. Like there's Facebook groups for everything. I'm in an LDS mom Facebook group. I was in a breastfeeding group, a sleep training Facebook group, and there's a lot of support online. We talked about being genuine in our posts and making sure, because that's Elder Bednar's counsel, is to be genuine. And then we talked about the gospel coming from social media and technology in general. So I think that about wraps it up.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicole, did you say?
So who wants to start?
Oh, sorry. Did you say?
Sorry, go first.
In Oaxaca?
Yes.
My brother-in-law got back from Oaxaca like a year ago now.
Wow. Let's see. How long have I been back now? Yeah, this will be 3 years in August, so 2.5 years.
Okay, because he left.
So I might have known him.
Yeah, he left exactly like 3 years ago, pretty much. Like, yeah, it was Will Barlow. He's like 6'5".
Yep, I don't remember a Barlow.
Yeah. Just small world. Yeah. So
yes, it is.
I will figure out how to record, and I can do the recording and post the link and everything. I think we'll just plan on 12:15 again, and hopefully the other girls can come.
Yep. Okay. Awesome. And Nicole, you'll post the one for this week, right?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Awesome. Have a good rest of the week, lady.
Awesome.
You too.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.